Autobots, transform!
What is up, everybody? I'm so happy you could join me for this episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformers fan. In case you didn't know, today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at the DX Super 7's Thundercats Tygra Deluxe action figure. This is basically a retail release of the Thundercats Ultimates figures line. He is number 3 or 4 in the line. He was released alongside Cheetara, and I guess number 1 would be Lynx-o and Monkey. And so there are 4 figures in now, in case you didn't know. This is at the $35 price point at retail. The Ultimates originally started at around $55, and some, depending on their size, can go for more money than that. And both lines are still currently being released at this time. But anyway, we get a dressed down version of that figure. This is the standard packaging for this line. It's just a blister bubble carded figure. We see Tygra fully within the packaging. He comes with one accessory, his bolo whip. We get the Thundercat logo down here, deluxe action figure. Nothing special going on with this. We got the little burst behind them going on. I think this is a straight throwback to the original figure. And spinning around to the back of the box, we have an art cell from the original cartoon series. And it looks very, very good. Again, nothing special going on with it. We're going to get Tygra open and take a look. I think myself and a lot of people were hoping they were going to make improvements to this figure. Like when they released Lynx-o, he was on a brand new body or buck, whatever your lingo is. And Tygra appears to be the exact same figure, which is kind of disappointing. I saw it on the promotional images, but I kind of had my fingers crossed hoping they would tweak it a little bit. But it looks like it's the same guy, which is a little disappointing. Now let's get Tygra out. And he comes with one accessory, as aforementioned. And I think they did some overcomplicated stuffing it in the box type thing. Yeah, man, just put it in a little bag and drop it at the bottom of the box. But I guess they wanted to display well. Oh, okay, it's easier than I thought. We have the original Tygra joining us, but we're going to start with the DX version. He did get a color improvement, depending on what your tastes are. We're going to take a look at his head. Looks to be very well painted on the face. The actual head is orange plastic. The tiger stripes dropped on it and the face printed on it. White around the bottom, and I got a few spots missing from the head. They actually included the elbow pad. A lot of fans cried that he didn't have the elbow pad, but they included it and only painted the band. They didn't actually paint the pad, which is like, wow. And they removed like the dry brushing from this guy. Some people thought it was paint bleed, but it was not, just dry brushing. And the thing I hated is that his legs were just cocked open. This was a sign that the articulation in the legs were terrible because he can't stand up like a soldier. He's got this cocked open stance like this. But they did make a few improvements that I like the feet are casted into his flesh tone. I guess part of his flesh tone is the orange, but into this flesh tone instead of being painted. The original release were painted, and then they took away some paint apps. The Thundercat logo is done well right there. So I'm gonna do his articulation real quick and then jump into the comparisons. Not much in way of head articulation looking up or down. Get a 360, it's squeaky, and just barely some side to side. No real, his head can just spin around basically. And T-pose, rotation at the shoulder, and that shoulder pauldron is painted, and a lot of articulation will make it come off. They should have casted it in the darker blue plastic, but it's casted in this light blue. He gets a bicep swivel right there, elbow bend. No swivel at that elbow, spinning around his wrist hinge in and out, and he's wearing gripping hands, the only hands he comes with. Abdomen articulation, back this far, forward this far, which is good. Waist swivel, and this is where he really sucked on the original release. Kick it to the front. This is it. And you know, on the Thundercats, not only are they cats, but they were all pretty much martial artists and skill fighters. And without like stretching the hell out of it, this is all you get, kicking. And to the side, a little bit better to the side, but that's all you get without stretching out this little diaper. And speaking of diaper, it is glued down this time, coming to his knee. And this is all you get. There is no reason why he doesn't have more articulation in his knee. They could have just shaved or trimmed the plastic they cast it in, but that is it. And this is the combination of a lift and knee bend. That is it. Like, man, that's terrible. Coming to Tygra's shin, or what people call the boot cut, full 360 rotation there. His foot to the front this far, to the back this far, and the rocker is there, and no toe articulation. The toes are nicely molded, so that's cool. The molding detail isn't bad, and Tygra is built on the old Master of the Universe classic style body. I kind of want more out of a Thundercats action figure in the modern era, especially at it used to be the $55 price point, but now $35 is not cheap. You get an SH Figure Arts figure for 30 bucks at the same Target. All right, time for the size up and the rundown. And let's bring them a little bit closer. I really like this blue a lot better. And they also updated the orange on the Tygra parts of Tygra. It is a little bit lighter or paler. I like it both ways. I don't think it's a positive or a negative. And then they lighten up the actual face print. And I must say I like the new face print better. It just looks better, lighter. And here, everybody complained about this dry brushing right here. I thought they put it on there to bring out the scope. A lot of people thought it was a paint bleed, but it's all over. It's on his thighs. But I don't have too much light on that. It's on his boots or leggings or whatever this is. It's back here. It's on his back. It's everywhere. So it is not a paint bleed from orange paint underneath. But yeah, these are the updates. And then where we lost paint. Oh, let me show you the elbow pad. Added and not added. This is the difference in the elbow pads being present. And I guess you shouldn't have to, but it wouldn't be too hard to paint that yourself. But you shouldn't have to. It's like, why put it there and then don't paint it? And on the shoulder pauldron here, we lose the gold. They was like, well, we're not doing that. And down here, we lose two paint apps. We lose the light blue and the gold. And again, it wouldn't be hard to do, but you shouldn't have to. And then the paint on the feet. This foot was painted just like his face, and they just chose to use the plastic, which I love. I love it when they do that. But I never had the original figure. A lot of people were saying this one is more closely painted to resemble the original figure. I don't know, but overall, I like the things they did with this one. But you hate when you lose something from one figure to the next. And speaking of lose something, the new release comes with the Bolo Whip extended and with a nylon string and the hilt. And our Ultimates figure, he comes with the exact same whip, just done in a different color. It's done in a darker blue. I guess they were like, we could just go use one blue plastic, so it's going to come in the same blue plastic, but it is identical. You get the gold hilt over here, and then the unpainted, I don't know if that's just paint, I think that's just paint, but the unpainted hilt over here. But the reason why this is ultimate, you get the plastic bolo, which is cool. I would rather have this one because it's always posed, but I know a lot of people want to wrap the whip around Tygra's body. The Ultimate Tygra came with 2 more sets of hands, and one of them was a real waste because you get an extra set with an up and down hinge as opposed to an in and out hinge, which if they had just put a ball joint in there for the hinge, they could have gave us another accessory and not wasted a set of hands. Then you get the retracted bolo whip, which is very cool, and I know this is the cost reduction one. It'd have been cool if he could have came with both, but he doesn't. Last but not least, we get an extra head for the Ultimate Editions, which was cool and kind of makes it ultimate. Oh, I forgot. Let's get the bolo whip into Tygra's hand and check him out with it. And the Super 7 hands on these figures are very, very tight. There we go. And I'm sure a lot of fans prefer this one so they can wrap it around him and turn himself invisible.
Handy.
All right, that's the best I got. I hope they get around to doing the invisible version in this line, because I passed on it because I didn't. I mean, it's kind of cool because it's clear, but I didn't want to drop $55 more on a damn action figure to get the clear one. But I would definitely grab it for the $35 at Target. Yeah, as a person that has both, I can tell you that the hard plastic pose whip is just a lot better for displaying. Just in case anybody out there was curious, here is the angry head from the Ultimate Tygra on the DX body, and it doesn't look too bad. You can see a little bit of difference, but because this is painted and this is cast in plastic, it looks no different than McFarlane Toys or Marvel Legends as far as plastic to paint matching. So all right, time to size them up and run them down, and this stance, I just can't stand it. This is how it looks with the original Lion-O and the newer body style Lion-O. I would not have been mad if they had updated Tygra and used like most of this body, especially the legs. Lynx-o and Cheetara representing Voltron. Here is the Green Lion from Motu Origins Filmation. Here's Cringer. You know I had to hit you with some Transformers. Here's Stripe. And joining Tygra from Marvel Legends is Tygra. Alright, the size up and rundown is never complete until we get some original artwork out here, and this is a cell taken straight from the 1985 Thundercats cartoon. Even though I like this color palette better, this matches more closely to the original Super 7 release. And just let me add, this guy can barely pull off this simple pose because of the limitations of the articulation. And just to further this comparison, let me pull this guy out of here. This is the original release, and as you can see, the colors match much better. Alright, now for the wrap up on Tygra. Is he worth the $35? I say yes and no. He is an improvement as far as the color, but they didn't improve anything on the body. If you could do without the accessories, definitely he's worth the pickup. And speaking of accessories, the original Tygra release was $55, and he was delayed like 2 years, and somehow he became very coveted. He goes for over $100 on the aftermarket. I don't know since this release if he's dropped, but he was well over $100, and I was like, no way I would buy that. So if you're one of those people considering getting this figure, definitely get this one. This one is worth it in that regard. He looks better. Articulation is not better. And the only thing to me that you're really missing is a secondary head, and you might be able to grab one of these on a secondary market. So, but he looks great, and at $35, it's a better alternative to that guy, and that's what I'm going to leave you with. Thank you for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews with every toy comes with a story.
Autobots, transform!